Hello there. How's everybody doing this evening? This is going to be the final sunset over Panama City Beach before Hurricane Michael makes landfall tomorrow afternoon. This is kind of a hurricane sky, as we say in the Storm Chaser business. That's beautiful sunset. Just kind of talk about a few things here. So as we got this beautiful sunset ongoing now here at Panama City, and it's really beautiful. Trouble's on the way, and my message tonight is going to be very extreme messages is forthcoming. It's going to be very dire what's going to happen down here. It's going to be very, 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 very bad. Let's go inside and look at some data. So let's go in here. So this is still live from, look at the sunset. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous sunset. Okay. Just bear with me here. Go in here and look at some data. Give just a few minutes here. Got to pull back up and gotta restart my system here. Good afternoon or good evening from Connecticut. Yes. Panama City, beach area. I'm going to bring up a couple of things here real quick. Waiting for some things to load, and they're loading. It'll take just a few minutes here. Got a pin hold. Okay, so this is the current satellite. And this is rapid scan satellite on the Hurricane Michael. And what's happening is that we're starting to get this deep convection around all four sides of the hurricane now, with a pinhole eye forming in the center. We now have an eye wall forming in the center of the hurricane. It's a solid Cat 3, and I've gotten multiple messages from multiple people, and there is basically there's a pressure continues to drop. Hurricane Hunter's in there now. Pressure continues to drop. I believe it's 952 is the last pass. It fell another 6 millibars in the last hour and a half or so. Solid Cat 3, and we're continuing to intensify. The latest hurricane models, let's look at that real quick. And one of the things that we can look at here, and again, you have to take all these models with a little bit of grain of salt. We've got it on radar now, but basically just kind of get you kind of oriented. This is a Hurricane WRF model. This is only one of about a half dozen models we look at, and no model is perfect, okay? Let me tell you that. This model here, it's done really well even 4 days ago, saying, hey, we're going to have a major hurricane coming out of the Yucatan. It was the best with the intensity track. It was the best with how deep it was going to rapidly intensify. Yesterday is when it came out of the Yucatan Channel and had it the farthest right, and then also, takes it up to the northwest here. So it's done really well with that. Yeah, thank you for the support. I appreciate that. And it's done really well. And so what it does is interesting is if you come up here and we'll just look at 850 knot surface winds, that's 10 meter winds. If we back this up and just kind of show you a couple things, as we go overnight tonight, this is tonight, it's 945 millibars, and it's close to that. It's dropping. It's now down to 952, so it's going to be pretty close to that number as the pressure continues to fall. So it might be a little bit deeper, but what it does is the models As we get into midnight, it's got winds at 5,000 feet. That's 850. It's got winds 160 knots, winds almost 180 miles an hour. Not the surface, that's at 5,000 feet. But my message is here is if you look at what the models are doing, it drops it down to 932 millibars. So this thing is intensifying as it approaches the coast tomorrow during the day, tomorrow evening. We're going to have, I believe I'll just tell you right now, we're going to have at least a Cat 4. Right now, the official forecast is a Cat 3, borderline 4. But there's enough models here that suggest now that we're continuing to have intensification, the pressure continues to fall. We're probably going to be below 9. We're going to be the 940 range here, 949 range here, probably in the next couple of hours before midnight. I think that we're probably going to wake up tomorrow morning with a Cat 4 coming to the coast, if not before. And I think that's still highly likely. So the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to have extreme storm surge and wind. So, the Hurricane Wharf's kind of just on the east side of Panama City, very close to Panama City, just east side, because right here at Panama City, they're in the eye wall. The east side of the city's in the eye wall, very close to the Hurricane Center's official forecast. It's very close to that. It might be just left of that. It's going to be very close to the east side or over the city of Panama City. Cat 4 hurricane around 1 to 3 o'clock tomorrow. Catastrophic damage. Winds, the European model came in this morning, and it has the hurricane basically just west of us here, about 5 miles. It has winds in Panama City gusting to 160 miles an hour. Those kind of winds are going to destroy it's going to destroy mobile homes, high-rise buildings. They're going to plate glass windows are going to blow out of them. It's going to do massive damage, just the wind alone. The storm surge will go to a different map. And kind of let's do I could do a radar map here, and this is a different type map, and kind of tell you some things. It's as a hurricane approaches, and again, this is not absolute, but it gives you an idea. If the hurricane, when it approaches this area, this is close, not exact, but as it comes up in this general area like this, the center, anything's to the right, when you got this onshore flow of these extremely large battering waves, this tremendous storm surge going up into the Big Bend area, all the way to Cabela, Apalachicola Bay here, Port St. Joe, Mexico Beach, the Air Force Base over here. This area here is going to be anywhere from 10 to 16 foot storm surge with some isolated storm surge in excess of 20 feet. So depending on the exact track, if the eye, is there, or if the eye, if the eye, my biggest fear tonight in Panama City, and there's a lot of things that I can't go into details because I can't tell you everything I know right now because it's the way it is. But if this thing ends up coming, I'm not talking 30 miles, people. I'm talking 5 or 10 miles. If this thing ends up going on the west side of Panama City, and right now I'd say it's 50-50, but if this thing comes on the west side of Panama City and it puts Panama City in the right quadrant of the storm surge and the deal, this is going to be absolutely catastrophic here. If it goes west of Panama City, downtown Panama City, and that hurricane just jogs like this, if it goes just west here, 5-10 miles from its current position, forecast track, this is an absolute super disaster. Like major disaster. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts right now. Like I said, it's not forecasted to go that far west, but if it does, all bets are off. You got a Cat 4 making landfall in or around the city of Panama City. I think we're going to have massive damage. We're going to have massive storm surge. And I can quite frankly tell you, there's a lot of bad stuff's going to happen. And so there's a lot of tweets. There's a lot of stuff going on about how bad it is and what's going to happen. But like I said, right now, if you look out over the city, most of the people have left, but there's a lot of people in these outer barrier islands. And there's a lot of people that I think are going to be in trouble, could be in trouble later if the storm surge comes across here in these outer barrier islands and the coastal areas. As the Weather Service in Tallahassee, I could show you that information. If you go to the Weather Service's website in Tallahassee, they have a lot of extreme messages in their website. And I'm going to just show you this. This is pretty, this is kind of my, I call it my Katrina type messages. And that is, if you look at the messages that are coming from the Weather Service, they're pretty extreme in the sense of what they're forecasting, which is basically what's going to happen. And that is a lot of bad stuff's going to happen. So we'll look at this. This is going to be out of the Tallahassee office. And obviously there's numerous offices that have, going to have a lot of problems, but they have kind of a city-by-city breakdown. Here's the 5 o'clock advisory. Keaton Beach, which is back over in the Big Bend area, talking about the wind impacts and also the storm surge over there. But let me get down here to the more intense wording on some of the cities. Panama City Beach, Mexico Beach, Lynn Haven, and Bayou George. Prepare for winds 55 to 75, gusts to 95. That looks reasonable. They said potential winds in excess of 110. I think that's likely. Cat 3, based on its current, but I think that's going to raise to Cat 4 before tomorrow if we get there. Prepare for catastrophic wind damage. This is in the city of Panama City. Prepare for catastrophic wind damage. Move to safe shelter and become away from wind hazards. Potential impact, widespread structural damage to buildings in the area. Frame and brick buildings suffer complete roof and wall failures. Numerous windows will blow out of all high-rises along the beach. Let me repeat this again. Numerous windows will blow out of all high-rise buildings along the beach. It's the area where I'm at now. All these buildings have their windows blown out. Numerous large pieces of debris flying through the air. This area will be uninhabitable for weeks to months. Let me repeat this. Locations along the beach will be uninhabitable for weeks to months. Large swaths of trees uprooted, road signs blown down. Nearly all primary roads and secondary roads will be impassable. Widespread power and communication outages, failure for weeks. So when we lose power tomorrow and we lose cell communications tomorrow afternoon when this hurricane blows in here, chances of streaming is slim and none. But I can tell you right now, I'm going to be in a very secure location and in multiple parking garages available to me, and we're not going to get caught in this. But I will tell you that it's going to be extreme. Peak inundation 4 to 8 feet. Potential life-threatening storm surge in excess of 6 feet above ground level. This is, again, a Panama City beach area. Life-threatening storm surge greater than 6 feet above ground level. That means the area below me where I'm at in this location right now will be to the first floor of this parking garage. And I'm in a 5-story parking garage. Potential flow, just basically, it's just really bad news. And as you go to other cities, just to the right of the landfalling hurricane, the numbers are even more scary and more dire is probably the best way to talk about it. But this is going to be a catastrophic event. Extreme damage, extreme wind damage, extreme surge damage over 350 miles of coast is going to have heavy damage. So these are the areas that expect just really bad stuff to happen. So you got to kind of get the message. It's going to be really bad over a big area. Storm surge warnings in effect. Hurricane force warnings are in effect. And many areas are going to have a lot of really bad stuff happen. So that's kind of a short update of what's going on. Go back outside here and look at the sky, which is really pretty. Sun's gone down now, it's sunset, and it's getting more and more prettier as we go on here by the minute. But that's kind of a quick update here from Panama City. And again, we're going to adjust our location of where we're going to track, where we're going to chase, all those kind of things based on what happens. We've been all up and down the coast. I've talked to emergency management people, I've talked to police, fire, we've talked to everybody. There's certain places we can film from that we can stay safe from the wind impact. And then the big problem down here, the most scariest thing for us chasing on this hurricane is the storm surge. The storm surge is going to be unbelievable. This is going to be just unbelievable top storm surge. And crazy bad stuff, storm surge. So that's kind of what's going on. We're going to try to get up tomorrow, and we're going to be up all night, to be quite frank with you. We're going to start streaming, probably shortly after sunrise. We'll start streaming, and I just don't know how long the cell communication will last. I can tell you along the coastline today, outside of Panama City, was weak, very weak. We had 1 bar most places. We couldn't even get text out at noon today, and we were in a city back on the coast, back east of Panama City. So cell communication down here is weak at best. I mean, this is before even the hurricane gets here. So I can tell you it's going to be a big problem here. So if you don't hear from me, you'll hear from me first thing in the morning. But once we lose communications, don't worry about us. We're going to be in a very safe place and very safe, secure location wherever we're at. And you may not hear from us for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days after this, because between the inundation, the roads being blocked, highways being blocked, the storm surge, I'm sure we're probably going to get stuck somewhere. Not in the sense of stuck, need help, but stuck like we can't escape because the roads are blocked in high water, as well as trees and power lines down. And it'll take days to get those roads clear where you can drive out of the damage area to get to an airport where I can fly out of here and get back home. But that will probably take like several days after the hurricane makes landfall. So Wednesday makes landfall tomorrow afternoon. So it might be Saturday, Sunday, Monday before I'm out of the damage area. Depends on how things unfold here. But anyway, catastrophic event on the way for the Florida coast. and it's going to be historic in storm surge and is also possibly wind impacts. So that's what's going to happen. Thank you guys for the support. Really, really, really appreciate all the support, and we're going to be back with you sometime early tomorrow. But good night from Panama City Beach. This is the last sunset, and the Florida Coast will not look the same 24 hours from now. So what you see now will be totally changed in 24 hours. It will not look the same, I promise you. It's going to change for a long time. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.